University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello, last time we saw the London School of Economics go through to the quarter-finals. Tonight we find out who they'll be playing. Manchester University scored 285 points in their first-round match against a rather rabbit-in-the-headlights team from Bristol. At this stage in the proceedings, we usually like to embarrass winning teams by reminding them of the spectacularly wrong answers they gave us last time, but the Manchester team have left us little option for doing that, as they demonstrated they knew their way around the Baltic Sea, organic chemistry and things to do with the letter X. Let's meet the Manchester team again.
Hi, my name is Henry Patinas. I'm from Birmingham and I'm studying for a PhD in pharmacokinetics.
Hi, I'm Ruben Roy. I'm from Manchester and I'm a fourth-year medical student.
And their captain.
Hello, my name's Matthew Yo. I'm from Lichfield in Staffordshire and I'm doing a PhD in the history of the book.
And I'm Simon Baker from Fleet in Hampshire and I'm doing politics and modern history.
The team from York University had a very convincing first-round win over a bunch of trainee vets, scoring 215 and completely dominating the proceedings until well beyond the halfway mark. Let's meet the York University team again.
Hi, I'm Tom Keane. I'm from Bury in Lancashire and I'm reading music.
Hi, I'm Paul Jones from Southport in Lancashire and I'm doing a PhD in modern literature.
And their captain.
I'm Robert Mitchell. I'm from Nottingham and I'm reading biology.
Hello, I'm Magdalena Skobler. I'm from Croatia and I'm doing a PhD in history of art.
Right, let's get on with it. Fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. Henry James, Doris Lessing, Francis Turner Palgrave, Apuleius and Sir James George Fraser, respectively described a bowl, a notebook, a treasury, an ass.
Manchester Baker.
Golden?
Gold is correct, yes, Golden. Your bonuses are on railway stations, Manchester. The railway station at Carnforth in Lancashire was the location for key scenes in which 1945 film starring Trevor Howard and Celia Johnson?
Brief Encounter.
Correct. Which Gloucestershire village has a plaque inscribed with a well-known poem by Edward Thomas, who was struck by its tranquility when his train stopped there one June afternoon?
Adlestrop.
Correct. A plaque on the wall of Widnes railway station commemorates the writing of which song by Paul Simon beginning, "I'm sitting in the railway station, got a ticket for my destination"?
Homeward Bound. Homeward Bound?
Correct. 10 points for this starter question. The first in Europe outside the Ottoman Empire opened in Venice in around 1645. Others followed in Hamburg and Paris. According to tradition, the first in Vienna was opened by a Pole after the Turkish...
Manchester U.
Synagogue.
No, you lose 5 points. By a Pole after the Turkish siege of 1683. By 1739, London had over 550... what?
York Keane.
Mosques.
No, they're coffee houses. 10 points for this. Which author made an immature human male, an equid, a lagomorph, a bird of prey of the order Strigiformes, two marsupials, a diminutive artiodactyl, a big cat, and an ursid of...
Manchester Patinas.
A.A. Milne.
A.A. Milne is right, yes. The ursid of very little brain would have given it to you. Your bonuses now are on a religious order. Born in the 1280s, theologian William of Ockham was a member of which religious order, aligning himself at Avignon with its Minister-General, Michael of Cesena?
Knights Templar. Knights Templar. Knights Templar?
There was the Franciscans or Greyfriars. A philosopher who speculated about the construction of miroscopes and telescopes, which 13th century Franciscan friar became known as the Doctor Mirabilis?
Francis of Assisi?
No, it's Roger Bacon. Ordained 1291. Which Franciscan theologian who lectured at Oxford and Paris was known as the Doctor Subtilis, or Subtle Doctor?
No idea.
That was Duns Scotus. 10 points for this. Taken from that of a 20th century Hungarian physicist and mathematician, what name is given to the energy stored in a crystalline substance as a result of irradiation? For example, some of the energy lost by neutrons in a nuclear reaction stored by the graphite moderator.
Manchester Patinas.
Cherenkov radiation.
No, anyone to buzz from York? It's Wigner energy. 10 points for this. Dilegua o notte, tramontate stelle, all'alba vincerò, vincerò, vincerò.
Manchester Baker.
Nessun Dorma.
Nessun Dorma is right. Your bonuses are on Italian cookery terms, Manchester. Born in 1460 and noted for his use of red pigment said to resemble raw meat, which Italian painter gives his name to an hors d'oeuvre consisting of thin slices of raw beef or fish served with a sauce or dressing?
Carpaccio.
Correct. From the Italian for to fry gently, which term describes vegetables that are softened slowly and used as a condiment and flavouring?
Tempera.
It's soffritto. Of Tuscan origin and derived from the Italian for crust, which close relative of bruschetta consists of toasted bread with various toppings?
Crostini.
Crostino is correct, yes. 10 points for this. Use of this word should be restricted to descriptions of Byzantine religious art and discussions of computer software.
Manchester Roy.
Icon.
Icon is right, yes. Your bonuses are on the periodic table. Which element is situated at the centre of the square of which the corners are boron, nitrogen, arsenic and gallium?
Oxygen.
Oxygen.
No, it's silicon. If the top of the periodic table is north and each cell of the table is an exact square, the line from titanium to tungsten via niobium runs in which compass direction?
Southeast.
Southeast.
Correct. If the periodic table were a giant chessboard, going from rubidium to magnesium or from nickel to gold would be a move for which piece?
So rubidium to magnesium.
It's going to be the rook, isn't it? Has to be up and across.
Yeah, rook.
The rook.
No, it's a knight. 10 points for this. It's a picture question. A campaign poster you're going to see used in a US presidential election. 10 points if you can give me the name of the candidate depicted.
Manchester Patinas.
Woodrow Wilson.
It is Woodrow Wilson, yes. Your picture bonuses, Manchester, are 3 more posters from the first half of the 20th century. In each case, the presidential nominee appears with their running mate. For 5 points, simply identify the successful presidential candidates on the left of each poster. Firstly, for 5.
Herbert Hoover. Hubert Hoover. Herbert Hoover.
Yes, Herbert Hoover. Secondly,
Calvin Coolidge.
Yeah.
Calvin Coolidge.
it is Calvin Coolidge. And finally,
Roosevelt.
Teddy
Yeah,
Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt is correct. 10 points for this. Quote, 2/3 of this terraquacious globe are his, for the sea is his. He owns it, as emperors own empires. The inhabitants of which island in Massachusetts, formerly the world's centre of the weight...
Manchester Baker.
Nantucket.
Nantucket is correct. Your bonuses are on poetry this time, Manchester. I will read the last lines of an early 20th century poem. In each case, I want you to give me the name of the poet. Stands the church clock at 10 to 3, and is there honey still for tea?
Rupert Brooke.
It is. A poor life this, if full of care we have no time to stand and stare.
W.H. Davis? I think so. W.H. Davis?
Correct. I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference.
You know better than from
Robert Frost?
It is Robert Frost. 10 points for this starter question. Which fictional establishment had Miss Tibbs, Miss Gatsby and Major Gowan as its permanent residents?
Manchester Baker.
Fawlty Towers.
Fawlty Towers is right, yes. Your bonuses are on vandalised works of art, Manchester. The Rokeby Venus by Velázquez in the National Gallery was attacked with a meat cleaver in March 1914 by a woman called Mary Richardson, a member of which organisation?
The Suffragettes.
Correct. Which work by Michelangelo was seriously damaged with 15 blows of a hammer in 1972 and is now exhibited behind bulletproof glass?
No, it can't be David.
It's a painting.
No. Michelangelo, is it? David, go.
David?
That's the Pieta. In 2002, a statue of Margaret Thatcher in the Guildhall in London was decapitated by a protester using what piece of sporting equipment?
Cricket bat.
Cricket bat.
Cricket bat's right. 10 points for this. 238 is the atomic mass number of the most abundant isotope.
Manchester Patinas.
Uranium.
Uranium's right. Your bonuses are on chronology, Manchester. Who was on the English throne when Leonardo painted the St. John the Baptist, Copernicus published his heliocentric theory, and the Spanish conquered Peru?
1480. Richard III, 1480s. Good. 1480s?
No.
Henry VII.
Spanish conquer Peru's got to be after Columbus.
Yeah, Henry
It's
VII.
15. It's the 15-somethings.
Henry VII.
Henry VII.
Henry VII.
Henry VII.
That was Henry VIII. British involvement in which war between European powers began in the year that University College Dublin was founded and finished the year in which William Henry Perkin prepared the first aniline dye?
Trinity College Dublin is 1753.
Perkins was 18.
American War of Independence.
76. I mean, George III.
Okay.
Yeah, George III.
That was the Crimean War. Which planet was discovered the year Kant published The Critique of Pure Reason and the British surrendered at Yorktown?
Uranus.
Uranus? Uranus is right. There's still plenty of time, York. It looks bad right now, but I'm sure it won't be by the end. Well, I hope not, anyway. 10 points for this. Combining the scope of War and Peace, The Sopranos and the Bible is artistic director Michael Boyd.
York Jones.
Don DeLilio's Underworld.
I'm afraid you lose 5 points. Is artistic director Michael Boyd's description of which cycle of plays performed in full by one ensemble company of the RSC in April and May 2008?
Manchester Patinas.
Ring cycle?
No, it's Shakespeare's Histories. 10 points for this. The third-person singular present subjunctive of a Latin verb, what word of 4 letters denotes an arbitrary order or decree, and in North America...
Manchester Patinas.
Fiat.
Fiat is right. Your bonuses, Manchester, are on short words. For each of the following, I'll give you the definition of a 2-letter word, and that 2-letter word will also be the official postal abbreviation of a US state. I want you to give me the name of the state. First, for 5 points, the 6th tone of the diatonic music scale.
Louisiana.
Correct. Second, born with the name in the case of a man, and a Latin conjunction sometimes translated as lest.
Nay. Nebraska. Nevada.
Which one's NV? NV's Nevada.
Nevada. NV is Nevada. Nebraska.
Correct. And finally, an interjection used as a casual greeting.
Hawaii.
Correct. 10 points for this. From 1868 to 1873, Robert Lowe held what political office, described by him as being entrusted with a certain amount of misery, which it was his duty to distribute as fairly as he can?
Manchester Yo.
Vice President of the United States of America.
No. Anyone to buzz from York?
York Keane.
Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Yes! You're storming away now. Wine terminology for your bonuses. The appellation DOC is found on the labels of good quality wine from Italy, Spain, and which other European country?
France.
No, it's Portugal. Until it was replaced in 2007 by a simpler designation, the abbreviation QMP, meaning quality wine with distinction, was used on wine labels from which country?
Germany.
Correct. The name of which French wine, defined by its appellation d'origine contrôlée, has been legally protected since the Treaty of Madrid in 1891 and was reaffirmed in the Treaty of Versailles in 1919?
Champagne.
Champagne is correct. We're going to take a music round now. For your music starter, you'll hear a piece of popular music. 10 points if you can identify the artist.
York Jones.
PJ Harvey.
No, you can hear a little bit more, Manchester.
Manchester Yo.
Barbara Streisand.
No, it's Patti Smith, so we'll take the music bonuses shortly. 10 points for this. The American baseball player Moe Berg, who also served as an intelligence officer in World War II, was given the mission of attending a conference in Zurich in 1944, given by which scientist with the order to assassinate...
Manchester Patinas.
Heisenberg.
Heisenberg is right. Not sure you're going to be glad you got that, because you get the music bonuses now. After Patti Smith's elegy, The last live song played at CBGB's, the now defunct New York music venue noted for its role in the American punk era. You're going to hear 3 more pieces of music by bands who started their careers at CBGB's. I want you to identify the band in each case. First...
Hey, here she comes now.
Is it Blondie? Blondie, yeah.
You know her. Would you look at that?
Yeah, it's Blondie.
Blondie.
Yes, it was. Secondly, this band.
Psycho, Talking Heads. Yes, Talking Heads. Psycho Killer by Talking Heads. Is that so? Just wait. Sure. Yeah, I'll actually insert. Okay. Yeah. That's Psycho Killer by Talking Heads.
It is indeed. And finally...
That's the words. The Ramones.
It is, yes, well done. Right, 10 points for this. Malodorously flatulent and an aggressive small dog are among possible derivations of what adjective, meaning lively, spirited or excitable, and applied especially to women?
York Mitchell.
Bubbly.
No, anyone to pass from Manchester? It's feisty. 10 points for this. It is its essence to spring like the rainbow daughter of wonder from the invisible, to abolish the past and refuse all history. These words by Ralph Waldo Emerson describe which literary form?
Manchester Baker.
Poetry.
Poetry is correct. Your bonuses are on seaports. Which port, the largest on Mexico's east coast, was occupied for 7 months in 1914 by US forces during the Mexican Revolution?
It's not
Cancun.
Is it on the East Coast?
Cancun.
No, it's Veracruz. Sfax is a major port on the Gulf of Gabes and the second largest city in which North African country?
Tunisia.
Tunisia is correct. And finally, founded by Greeks in the 7th century BC, Durrës is the principal port of which country on the Adriatic?
Croatia.
No, it's Albania. 10 points for this. What 7-letter noun can mean a device that reduces the friction of motion between moving and non-moving machine parts, the manner in which one carries or conducts oneself, the act of producing fruit or offspring, and direction or position relative to a fixed point measured especially in degrees?
Manchester Patines.
Angle.
Anyone want to buzz from York? Quickly.
York Mitchell.
Bearing.
Bearing is right, yes. Your bonuses are on a war, York. The first phase of which war began when King Archidamus of Sparta led an invasion of Attica in 431 BC?
Peloponnesian War.
Correct. Which Spartan general commanded the fleet that defeated the Athenians at Aegospotami in 405 BC, thus effectively bringing the war to its conclusion?
No, sorry.
That was Lysander. Having fought on the Athenian side during the conflict, which historian is remembered for his history of the Peloponnesian War?
Thucydides.
Thucydides is right. 10 points for this in American history. The letters HUAC stand for what book?
Manchester Yo.
House Un-American Activities Committee.
That's correct. Your bonuses now, Manchester, are about larks. The song that begins, "Hark, hark, the lark at heaven's gate sings," is used by Cloten in his attempts to woo Imogen in which play by Shakespeare?
No. As you like it.
Windsor?
As you like it. No. As you like it. As you like it. As you like it.
No, it's Cymbeline. The music soars within the little lark, and the lark soars. Who wrote these words in the 1857 poem Aurora Leigh?
Browning. Robert Browning.
No, it was Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Hail to thee, blithe spirit, bird thou never wert. Which romantic poet addressed a skylark with these words?
Keats? Is it Keats? It's Keats. Keats?
No, it's Shelley. Right, we're going to take the last picture round. For your picture starter, you will see a painting by a Dutch artist. 10 points if you can name the artist.
York Scobler.
Vermeer.
Vermeer is correct, yes. That was The Allegory of Faith by Vermeer. Your picture bonus is 3 more works of art depicting allegories of the 7 cardinal and theological virtues. In each case, I want you to identify the virtue represented, which is referred to in the title in each case. Firstly, for 5 points.
Charity.
That is charity. Second, this one.
Temperance.
No, that's prudence. And finally, this one.
Justice.
Justice is right, yes. Another starter question now. Often hyphenated. Which 6-letter word means both a second or subsequent election to determine a final winner and...
Manchester Yo.
Runoff.
Runoff is right. Your bonuses are on a letter of the alphabet. The height of which lowercase letter is considered characteristic of a given typeface or font?
History of the book.
Yeah, exactly.
E.
Which one?
E. No, it's X. Who, in his Geometry of 1637, introduced the use of X, Y and Z for unknown quantities?
Descartes.
Descartes and geometry. Yeah.
Cartesian geometry.
Descartes.
No, Descartes is correct. For what does the X stand in the name of the hypertext markup language XHTML?
Extreme. I don't know. Extreme.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Extreme.
No, it's extensible. 10 points for this. The words, "How are the mighty fallen," from the 2nd book of Samuel in the King James Bible, are part of a lament by which figure?
Manchester Roy.
David.
David is right. Your bonuses, Manchester, are on light microscopy. A microscope lens having a magnification of ×40, an aperture of 0.95 and a mounting screw thread is an example of which type of lens?
Convex?
No.
No.
I have no idea.
Magnifying.
Magnifying.
No, yeah, magnifying.
Yes. Magnifying.
Eyepiece. Go for eyepiece.
What?
Eyepiece lens.
Eyepiece lens.
No, it's an object or objective lens. A specimen to be observed may be mounted on a slide which is supported by which part of a microscope?
The stand. No, it's not a stand. It's, I can't remember.
A clip.
Clip, go for clip.
Clip.
No, it's a stage. Usually located below the stage, what name is given to the system of lenses and iris diaphragm which illuminates the specimen?
Aperture.
Aperture.
Yeah.
Aperture.
It's a condenser. 5 minutes to go, 10 points for this. Excepting Prince Edward Island, only 2 of Canada's 10 provinces do not share a border with the USA. 10 points if you can name either.
Manchester Roy.
Nunavut.
Nope. Anyone want to buzz from York?
York Keane.
Northern Territories.
No, that's in Australia. It's Nova Scotia, Newfoundland or Labrador. Neither Nunavut nor Northwest Territory, which is presumably what you were thinking of. Neither of them is a province. Right, 10 points for this. What word links a style of collar, a carnivorous freshwater fish, a species of duck, a type of orange, and the principal language of China?
Manchester Patines.
Mandarin.
Correct. Your bonuses now are on houseplants. What is the common name of Monstera deliciosa, distinguished by its large, irregular-shaped leaves with natural holes?
Cheese plant.
The cheese plant.
The Swiss cheese plant is right, yes, the monster plant. Grown commercially in the tropics, which house plant with large, oblong, glossy, leathery leaves has the scientific name Ficus elastica?
Rubber plant.
What, sorry? Rubber plant. Okay, go for it.
Rubber plant.
Correct. After the sharpness of its leaves, what common name is often given to Sansevieria trifascatia, native to tropical West Africa?
Spider plant.
Spider plant. Spider plant.
That's mother-in-law's tongue. Another starter question. The numbers representing Mozart's Little G minor and Hafner symphonies and Mendelssohn's Reformation Symphony are multiples of 1 and what other number?
York Mitchell.
5.
5 is right, yes. Your bonuses are about US states. 4 US states have borders with only 2 other states, Washington's one being bordered by Oregon and Idaho. Name one of the other 3.
Florida.
That's correct, yes. South Carolina and Rhode Island are the others. Which state has short borders with Wisconsin and South Dakota and longer borders with Nebraska, Missouri, Illinois and Minnesota?
Texas.
No, it's Iowa. Which is the only state to border Maine?
Vermont.
No, it's New Hampshire. 2.5 minutes to go, 10 points for this. Garrigue is a term used to describe the low, mainly evergreen, shrubby vegetation characteristic of coastal areas around which sea?
Manchester Patines.
Black Sea.
No, anyone want to buzz from York?
Yonk Jones.
Red Sea.
No, it's the Mediterranean. 10 points for this, meaning sign or distinguishing symbol in Sanskrit and worshipped as a symbol of generative power.
Manchester Patines.
Swastika.
No, you lose 5 points. As a symbol of generative power, the lingam is the symbol of which Hindu god?
York Mitchell.
Vishnu.
No, it's Shiva. 10 points for this. What place name appears in the first line of the poem by W.B. Yeats that ends, I hear it in the deep heart's core?
York Jones.
Innisfree.
Innisfree is right, yes. 3 questions on geometric constructions. Given any triangle, what is the name given to the point at the intersection of the 3 altitudes of a triangle, usually signified by the letter H?
Apex.
No, it's orthocenter. What name is given to the intersection of the 3 medians, which can be interpreted as the centre of mass of a triangular lamina?
Vortex.
No, it's centroid. The orthocenter, centroid and circumcenter of a triangle all lie on a line named after which Swiss mathematician?
I don't.
Galois.
No, it's Leonard Euler. 10 points for this. What is the only Central American country without a Caribbean coastline?
Manchester Baker.
Costa Rica.
No, anyone want to buzz from York?
York Mitchell.
Nicaragua.
No, it's El Salvador. Ampicillin, amoxicillin and methicillin are all examples of which group of antibiotics?
Manchester Roy.
Penicillins is correct. Your bonuses are on a German word. What is the English name for the day of the week known in German as Donnerstag? Come on.
Tuesday.
No, it's Thursday. In 1868, who composed the polka Unter Donner und Blitz, or Thunder and Lightning?
Johann Strauss the Younger.
Correct. Francesca Donner, and at the gong, York have 80, Manchester have 280. It looks bad. It is bad. Anyway, we've got to say goodbye to you, but thank you very much. You're a nice, cheerful team, and we were all hugely relieved when you did get some things right, or get the chance to buzz in. They were very, very, very fast. Well done, Manchester. It's another very impressive performance from you. We should look forward to seeing you in the quarter-finals. Congratulations. I hope you can join us next time for another second-round match. But until then, it's goodbye from York University.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Manchester University. And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Over on BBC One now, Panorama investigates the death of baby P. Next here on BBC Two, swapping ready-made for homemade, Indian food made easy. And on BBC Four now, more quiz action with Only Connect.